Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library in the children's room. And guess what? Our middle grade book spotlight theme is this week. It's all about football because guess what's starting this week, guys? The NFL season. So, to get you kind of in the spirit and the mood, we're going to talk about 6 football-themed books that we have here. So, to get us started, we have Touchdown Trouble by Fred Bowen. Sam loves playing football and his team is in the league championship this year. Sam ends up scoring the winning touchdown on the final play of the game that leads his team to being the champions. After the victory celebration is over though, and they re-watch the final play, they realize that the play should never have been called a touchdown, and they are now faced with a dilemma. Do they tell the truth and lose their championship title, or do they lie and pretend it counted even though they know it doesn't? This is based off a true story about a college football game that was played in 1940, and you will find yourself deciding right along with Sam and the rest of his teammates what choice would you make and what choice should be made. This is Touchdown Trouble by Fred Bowen. Oh, I had to include this one, Mike Lupica's $1 Million Throw. And I love Mike Lupica. He's gonna come up here in a couple of books in a minute. Nate loves being the star quarterback, has a great family, and has an amazing best friend named Abby. But things start to go the wrong way when Nate's family is in danger of losing their house because of the economy, and Abby is diagnosed with a rare disease that's having her eyesight disappeared. Nate thinks he has a solution now. He wins a chance to go to a Patriots game, and if he throws a touchdown pass at halftime, he wins $1 million. And he can use that money to help his family keep their house and to help his best friend with her eyesight, and he has it all worked out. As he starts to get ready for his big moment though, his quarterback skills somehow seem to have disappeared, and he starts freaking out and wondering if he's going to be able to save his family and friend. This book will keep you on the edge of your seat and guessing as to what's going to happen, and you go right along with Nate through this whole journey, $1 Million Throw. Oh. We talked about Steve Sheinkin last week, and guess what I have here? Another Steve Sheinkin book. This is Undefeated, Jim Thorpe and the Carlisle Indian School football team. This book, so good. Jim Thorpe has been called one of the best athletes of all time, and this is his story. He was a Native American who was brought to Carlisle, Pennsylvania to go to school. And he and his classmates form a football team, which goes up against many of the college powerhouse teams at the time, and guess what? They start beating those teams, and then they start becoming like a powerhouse, and he and his coach, called Pop Warner, so some of you who are playing like league football, you might have heard that name before, start redefining the game of football itself. An amazing nonfiction book which will have opened your eyes to one of the best players who have ever played the game. You may have never even heard of him before, and I'm being serious that he's one of the best athletes of all time. He is. But it also brings your eyes open to how Native Americans were treated in this country. You will leave with so much more appreciation for the advances this team helped make not only in the game of football, but also in the eyes of society and history. Undefeated by Steve Sheinkin. I told you Mike Lupica would turn back up. This is Game Changers. Ben loves playing quarterback and expects to be named the starter this year for his team. But the coach decides to name his son Sean as the starter instead. Sean now does not have the passion or the desire to be the quarterback, and soon he and Ben start becoming friends, and Ben does his best to help Sean, even though Ben really wants to be the quarterback. After the team loses their first 2 games, and they're in the process of losing their third, Sean is replaced by Ben, and the team wins the game, and soon they are winning all their games. And this winning then leads to tension between Ben and Sean, who had become friends, but they're both trying to struggle and figuring out where they belong on this team. Mike Lupica is a longtime sports writer for the New York Daily News, so you can trust that he knows his sports, and it clearly shows in Game Changers. Football Scramble by Brandon Terrell. For those of you who like your football with some graphic novels, here you go. Ben Paulson is the backup quarterback for his team, and he's really okay with that. When the star quarterback for the team ends up getting benched, though, because his grades are not the best, Ben is forced to enter the game. But Ben is not as good as the star quarterback, and his performance starts to be kind of iffy, and his teammates are starting to get frustrated with them losing and maybe not playing as well as they did before. So Ben decides he has to try to get creative with how to solve this issue. This football graphic novel will bring you inside the drama and the love of the game, and it will bring you right alongside Ben as he tries to grow into the star quarterback. Our last one, Football Champ by Tim Green. 12-year-old Troy White is hired by the Atlanta Falcons to be one of their ball boys, but he secretly has another job. He has an uncanny ability to predict the opposing team's next moves and helps with the play calling, but this is being kept a secret because a 12-year-old really should not be calling football plays. When a reporter uncovers the truth, though, and publishes what Troy is doing, everything, including the Falcons season, is in jeopardy, and now it's up to Troy to prove what he is doing is not cheating and to save the season and their trip to the playoffs. Written by Tim Green, who spent 8 years in the NFL playing for the Atlanta Falcons, you are getting firsthand and accurate information and storytelling that will keep you guessing throughout this whole book. There are other books that Tim Green has written that are football setting, but if football maybe isn't what you're into, he has a ton of baseball books as well. So this is Football Champ by Tim Green. Well, hopefully one of these books will get you in the mood for the start of the football season. We look forward to seeing you next week for another middle grade book spotlight. If you have any questions, feel free to come on in and ask us here at Bowman. Thank you and have a great day.